keep off the tracks. At Lower Timoth Station is a foot crossing. Members of the public have to wait for the train to pass by until the line is clear. And then safely walk across the tracks. One day, Sir Topham Hatt's grandchildren, Stephen and Bridget, waited for Percy to pass by. And then began to walk on the crossing. "Hey, I got an idea," said Bridget. "Why don't we walk down the railway line?" "Isn't that illegal?" asked Stephen. "And dangerous?" "Come on," said Bridget. "There won't be a train for ages. You're just a chicken." Stephen doesn't like being called chicken. So he carelessly followed his sister off the crossing and onto the tracks. At first, Stephen and Bridget found it exciting. They began to climb over the rails and jump from sleeper to sleeper. Everything was going fine. Can you hear something? I think I hear a rumbling noise. And it's getting louder and louder. That means there's a train coming. Get off the tracks! Stephen and Bridget jumped just in time. Thomas had begun picking up speed when he saw them. His driver hadn't got time to apply the brakes. Thomas stopped a few miles down the line. He and Annie and Clarabelle were badly shaken. We didn't hit them," he whimpered. "But we almost did." Thomas's driver and fireman were equally shaken. And Annie and Clarabelle have to be pulled by another engine. As for Stephen and Bridget, they ran back home before the police arrived at the scene. "It's just disgraceful," Gordon fumed. "We are big and heavy machines. We could cause serious harm to these people. Why do they think they can just wander around the railway as they please?" "And thank goodness Thomas is a tank engine," agreed James. "Imagine if there could have been a diesel or electric engine. They probably wouldn't have heard him." "Poor Thomas is stuck in the yard," sighed Henry. "It will take him a while to overcome with something like that. These people, they never stop to think about the impact it could affect the engines and their crew. They're so selfish." Thomas stayed in the yard for several months. He barely spoke to anyone. All the other engines felt dreadfully sorry for him, including the diesels. "Such a terrible thing to happen," sighed Daisy. "Trespassers are a disgrace," agreed Mavis. "Poor Thomas," said Derek sadly. Stephen and Bridget came to the station to watch the trains. They were surprised to see that Thomas wasn't pulling Annie and Clarabelle. Where's Thomas? They asked. He's still recovering from his nasty near miss, replied Sir Topham Hatt. Some silly kids played on the tracks, and he nearly hit them. He's deeply shaken. Stephen and Bridget felt awful. Excuse me, grandfather, they said, but we were the kids on the track. We didn't realize it would be so bad. You kids were trespassing, boomed Sir Topham Hatt. That is not only illegal, but it's very dangerous. You two could have been seriously hurt. We know. We're sorry. I think there's someone else you should say sorry to. Thomas. We're sorry, said Stephen and Bridget. We never wanted to cause you so much stress. It's okay, Thomas said. Thank you for apologizing. A real way you could be sorry is to never, ever walk or play on the tracks again. Ever. Of course, replied Stephen and Bridget. Sir Topham Hatt had workers put up the signs on each station and crossing, telling the people to not trespass. He also had a footbridge on a crossing where Thomas had a near miss, so that the blue tank engine won't have to be reminded every time he passed. Unfortunately, the people were, and still are, careless, and often trespass the railway. Some think it's cool, some just take a shortcut, some are just too impatient, and none of them think about the impact it could affect the engines and their crew. A message to everyone. Please, never trespass the railway. Ever. Trains are faster and quieter than you think. They won't be able to stop at time and can cause serious damage to the mental health of the drivers of trains involved. Please think twice. Thank you.